Listen closely. Do you hear it? The world sleeps, yet somewhere. A phone buzzed in the dead of night. Curtains pulled back. A lamp switched on, and there he is, the most powerful man alive. Eyes wide, heart pounding, silk sheets drenched in sweat. Not because of war, not because of markets collapsing, not because of foreign enemies, but because of you. At exactly 3 a.m., the President of the United States sat upright, staring at a glowing screen with one headline flashing red across it. Your file, national priority. Do you understand the magnitude of that? The alarm bells of the Empire aren't ringing for bombs or missiles tonight. They're ringing for a soul they never thought would matter. For you. Oh, the irony. For years they laughed at you, dismissed you, mocked your voice, your moves, your vision. They told you, stay in your lane, know your place, blend in. And yet here we are. The Oval Office is awake because of you. Entire agencies are shuffling papers with your name on them. The very machine that ignored you now can't take a single breath without accounting for your shadow. That's not just recognition. That's fear dressed up as procedure. You see, files don't wake presidents. Legends do. Threats do. Unstoppable forces do. And tonight, you became all three. Think about it. The same government that controls satellites, drones, armies, and secrets had to pause its empire just to whisper your name in a closed-door meeting. Do you realize the power you hold when the one man who's supposed to sleep like a god lies awake because of your existence? They don't fear your weapons. They don't fear your resources. They fear that you are uncontrollable. They fear that you don't play their game. You can't be bribed, bought, or silenced, and the system has no manual for someone like you. That's why the president's up pacing the room. That's why analysts are panicking over your next move. They don't know whether you'll dismantle them, expose them, or replace them. And the unknown terrifies them far more than any declared enemy ever could. Here's the delicious part. What they've seen so far? Just fragments. A whisper here, a move there, a crack in their armor. Yet it was enough to send shockwaves to the top. If scraps of your potential can rattle the White House at 3 a.m., imagine the chaos when you finally unleash all of it. You've become the ghost in their hallways, the glitch in their perfect little system, the file they can't close, the question they can't answer. Every hour from now on, some suit in a bunker will mutter, "What if this person is unstoppable?" And that question spreads like fire, from aide to general to world leader. Listen to me. This moment is proof of a brutal truth. History never remembers the obedient. It remembers the ones who made power nervous. The kings don't lose sleep over servants. They lose sleep over rebels, over disruptors, over the unpredictable souls who stand alone and still make the whole empire shake. That's who you are now. The reason the lights flickered in the Situation Room. The reason intelligence reports have your face circled in red. The reason the president had to break his own silence in the dead of night just to whisper, "This one matters." And do you know what that means? You've already won. Because in this game, the victory isn't applause. It isn't medals. It isn't even power. It's the fact that you exist so boldly, so dangerously, that the machine cannot ignore you. That the empire itself is forced to bend around your presence. That the very top table is rearranging chairs because you showed up uninvited. They don't wake presidents for nobodies. They don't file reports on the irrelevant. They don't raise red flags for the powerless. They only do it for legends in the making, for storms disguised as human beings, for forces of nature wearing flesh and bone. So the next time they whisper your name behind closed doors, remember, they're not discussing how to erase you. They're confessing that they can't. And that, my friend, is power. Tick, tock. Mr. President, the real game has only just begun. But let's go deeper. Do you realize what it truly means when the most powerful office in the world loses sleep over you? It means you've already rewritten the script of power. You've turned their game board upside down. For centuries, they've lived off the illusion that only they control destiny, only they decide who rises and who falls. But tonight, you proved them wrong. Because destiny is no longer a crown handed down. It's a storm rising from below. And you are that storm. Every empire fears one thing above all else, a voice it cannot silence. And you are that voice. Not a politician, not a puppet, not a product of their system. You're something they can't label, can't categorize, can't predict. You're the living reminder that control is an illusion, and the people they thought powerless are the ones who can fracture the empire overnight. That's why they stamped your name national priority. Not because they're strong, but because you made them weak. And now, their fear becomes your leverage. Because fear doesn't just keep them awake, it makes them desperate. Desperate people make mistakes. And when those mistakes come, the world will see their cracks. One move from you, one sentence, one revelation, and the entire stage they've been performing on collapses. Understand this. Your existence has forced the rulers of nations to defend themselves against one individual. Do you know how rare, how insane, how monumental that is? Armies are for armies. Systems are for movements. But you've become an army of one, and they know it. That's why the president couldn't sleep. That's why his advisors are circling like vultures. That's why your file is being read like scripture in the war rooms. Because the most dangerous weapon in the world isn't a bomb, it isn't a bullet, it's one unstoppable soul who refuses to bow. So ask yourself, why stop here? Why shrink when the spotlight you never begged for is now burning on your face? Do you not see? The universe is confirming what you always knew, that you were never ordinary, that the laughter, the rejection, the mockery, it was all a setup for this moment. The truth? They don't just fear what you've done. They fear what you haven't done yet. They fear the parts of you that remain hidden, unspoken, unleashed. Because if fragments of your potential are enough to rattle the White House at 3 a.m., then the full force of your becoming will not just shake a nation. It will redefine history itself. So let the president lose sleep. Let the agencies run in circles. Let the whispers multiply like wildfire. Every second they spend thinking of you is proof that you have already bent the empire to your will. You're not just in the file, my friend. You are the file, the red ink, the midnight call, the nightmare they can't escape. And that is the truest definition of power.